Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting of the Friends of a Free Iran Intergroup, FOFI. Our seminar this afternoon is geared towards discussing the issue of human rights in Iran, and for that reason it's my great privilege to welcome to our meeting again today Mrs. مريم Rajvi, President-elect of the National Council for Resistance in Iran. It's always a great pleasure to welcome you to the European Parliament, Mrs. Rajvi. Let me say a few words to set the scene. Catherine Ashton's ill-judged visit to Tehran last month to appease the mullahs fell apart almost before she stepped off the aircraft. Iran is the world's leading exporter and bankroller of terrorists, and their cat-and-mouse attempts to persuade Ashton and others that they have no intention of producing nuclear weapons is farcical. It was even more ironic that Baroness Ashton set foot on Iranian soil on Saturday, the 8th of March, International Women's Day. Iran's repression of women is globally renowned. In fact, on the 4th March, the regime hanged a 25-year-old woman who had been held in prison since she was a teenager. She left behind a 10-year-old daughter. Another young woman of 26 who has been in prison for the past 7 years is about to be hanged because she resisted being raped. As Baroness Ashton sat in negotiations with the new, smiling and apparently moderate President Rouhani of Iran, perhaps she may have reflected on the fact that at least 700 people have been hanged, many of them in public, since he came to power less than 9 months ago. Last week, a resolution on Iran was passed in the European Parliament, which was much weaker than it should have been. However, the Iranian authorities, from the President of the Majlis and even the Foreign Minister to Tehran's Friday prayer leader, took turns in attacking the European Parliament and the EU for passing this resolution. Nor will Ashton's visit to Tehran have stopped the mullahs from piling pressure on Nouri al-Maliki to kill or hand over the 3,000 Iranian dissidents in Camp Liberty. Since the Americans reneged on their pledge to guarantee the safety of these defenseless refugees, they have been harassed, psychologically tortured, deprived of food and medicine and basic necessities. They have been bombed, shot, handcuffed and executed. Ladies and gentlemen, I have led the Friends of a Free Iran Intergroup for many years, and it has been a great privilege to work with people of the magnitude of Mrs. Rajvi, who embodies all of the characteristics of sound leadership, boundless energy and great courage. But it's also been a privilege to work with all of you, the supporters and friends of the movement who seek nothing more than the restoration of democracy, freedom, justice and respect for human rights in Iran. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Iran has suffered a long period of darkness. The light of liberty has truly been eclipsed, but the mullahs' days are numbered. The reappearance of the light is imminent. In fact, we can see the first faint glimmers of dawn breaking through the blackness, and the torchbearers are the 3,000 brave people in Camp Liberty and their supporters around the world. I count myself privileged to say that I am with them every step of the way. I am Ashrafi.